Hello, Virgo, and welcome to your February 1st through 15th, 2019 love reading. I did a good job. I said it all, and I said it right. Pat me back. Anyway, welcome to your love reading. We're doing love first because, Love Day is on the 14th, and what's not all whatever, But I'm pretty sure, you know about the card that I got you. Because I love you. And since you can't pull it through the screen because we're not that technologically advanced, at least, not us. I'm going to read it to you. Okay? You ready? You ready, Virgo? Hold on. Let me sit up straight. I feel like Virgo would want me to sit up straight and make sure that I don't have flyaways. Right? And Virgo would say, fix that. Right. I'm truly fortunate to have you in my life. I don't need a cookie to tell me that. But I'll take one anyway. You know I love a cookie. Love always. Your favorite Taurian, Princess India. I love you. Love you, Virgo. So we're going to take a look at you as well as your cross watcher. Between the 1st and the 15th, you know what I'm saying, and what's not, or whatever. We're gonna see what's going on between you guys. So we're gonna get an overall energy from the whispers of love, because you have to whisper when you say it. And then we're gonna jump in with a tarot of sexual magic. And since I got that collective message out last night, I think you guys may be free and clear of the, messages that kept creeping in at the end of my readings and making them like an hour long. Yeah. But we're going to ask Spirit to give us clear and direct guidance for my Virgos, please, Spirit, in reference to their love lives for February 1st to the 15th, 2019. Anything that Virgo needs to know, anything of utmost importance, Spirit, I ask that that come to the forefront in this reading. I also ask that you give me the ability to interpret these messages as clear and concise and quick as possible. But I know you're good for it, Spirit, so I thank you in advance. All right, all right, all right. First card is for Virgo. The second is for their cross watcher or person of interest. We're not all stalkers. I'm not saying that cross watchers are stalkers. Just kidding. Saw that inference I did with my Taurus eyebrow. First card, okay, Virgo. Embrace your emotions. Don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. Oh my gosh, that is so important. Oh gosh, I forgot to say. Personal readings. I forgot to throw that in there. Everything you need to know is in the description box below. I'm not going to be super long with that because you ain't got to be long to be strong. You know what I'm saying? Okay, sorry. I felt like that was appropriate. But anyway, the Reiki pre-registration sign up is on my site, and the waiting list for readings is also on my site. And I'm telling everyone to sign up to that now as soon as we finish with this whole integration with the new POS system, because I've changed it to where you're going to be able to pick the day that you want your reading done. So we're trying to integrate that into the site. So once that's done, all of the people who are on the waiting list are going to be notified to go and book your day. And I'm not going to open it up to the general public until I finish with people who are on the waiting list. But once I close the waiting list, then, you'd have to wait until I open it to everyone and finish the people who are on the waiting list. So if you've been wanting to get a reading with me, then, link below, do that, whatever. Aside from that, back to, your emotions. So, we have embraced your emotions. This is so important because literally, like what I was talking about with the whole collective message, that's what I was sensing with that. It's more or less like there's a need to purge because how can I make this quick? More or less, okay, emotions, I call them energy and motion, emotion, right? Energy and motion, right? It's a frequency that you're picking up on if we got really logistical about it. But in so many words, If you look at that as a form of measurement, every energy has a frequency, therefore, with your emotions, ranging from the highest of the highs to the lowest of the lows. The lower that you go, the more weight is attuned to those emotions, right? Now, if we get into like somatic therapy, right? So that's more or less like, I do that a lot with trauma clients, because whenever we experience trauma, there's a mind-body disconnect, and we have a tendency to live in our head, right? So we're disconnected from our body as well as our emotions, because it was a defense mechanism, disassociation, all that good stuff. The downside of this is crying is a purging action. Even anger, flipping the table, that's a purging action, because it's transferring that energy to another form, right? Because, and if you haven't watched the collective reading, you might want to do that after this. But like I say in there, energy can't be created or destroyed, right? So the only thing that it can do is transfer into another form. So if you aren't releasing it, and if these are low vibrational energies, then this is going to start to take the form of matter, right? The more of them there are. So, and this is something that we're going to go over in the Reiki course. Like when it comes to energy healing and things of the sort, why that's so important to keep like your chakras balanced, your auric fields clear. Because if you're packing down those emotions and they're low vibrational, so they're heavier, it's easier for them to manifest into matter, right? Meaning disease, sickness, and I brought this up in someone's reading before, like thyroid issues. It's energetically speaking, like with Reiki work, energy healing work, and things of the sort. When there's blockages, like in the throat chakra, and after doing kind of like the preliminary stuff of, getting to know your client and so on and so forth, you'll start to learn that a root of a lot of their issues is repressing emotion and not speaking the truth. Because, for whatever reason, not feeling like they have the right to, whatever, right? Now, that'll start to manifest as like thyroid disease, like hyperthyroidism and things of the sort. So a lot of physical ailments have their root cause in the spiritual body, so to speak. And that's why it's so important to keep your energy clear as well as express your emotions. You know what I mean? Whether that's through talking to someone, like going to see your local neighborhood friendly therapist, going to see an energy healer, I don't know, whoever, your granny, it doesn't matter. It's just, there's a need to express the emotions, even if that's, going for a run and crying a little, crying in the shower. But not really so much concerned about that. The reason why is because the card number is 18. 8 plus 1 is 9. And of course, that's a completion number. So I feel like this is, so you guys kind of get an easy fast track out, but Spirit probably told you this already, is one of your little spiritual roaches is harboring your emotions and not expressing them. And I feel like that may or more or less be because of there being especially if you're a male, that there's a negative connotation to being emotionally expressive, right? But of course, everything's done within a sense of balance. So it's not, there's nothing wrong with expressing your emotions, but don't think that emotional expression is automatically overly emotional, right? Because over emotionality isn't healthy either. You want to have that healthy balance, but I feel like Virgos are going to be fine in that regard. But the other thing is judging your emotions. And that's kind of like that post that I put up on the community tab and on Instagram a couple of days ago, where it says you're human. Humans love, or something of the sort. Don't ever regret loving, because it shows that you're alive. So the deeper meaning to that, or not necessarily deeper, but just to extend it a little bit, is in the fact of regretting loving someone, like saying things like, I was so stupid to love them. That's so dumb of me to think that this person would ever want me. That's so stupid. Like you feel that energy, like it's pushing you down. So that incites like shame. It incites guilt. And I was talking about that the other day too, that guilt is an invisible prison in which many are serving a life sentence. And bringing this over into the physiological side, that is yet another thing that causes physical manifestations in the body, right? When we're talking about chemical imbalances and things of the sort, there's lots of research and reference to this, and it's pretty much borderlining on addiction as well as trauma, that guilt and shame literally change the chemical and hormonal structures in your brain for extended periods. So if it's someone who experienced childhood trauma and has carried shame or guilt for like decades, that causes chemical imbalances that will manifest as depression. So if you think about, because you know, you have situational depression and you have a chemical imbalance, where in those cases where you would take medication for it, right? Because it's not just like a circumstance that happened. It's like that can be a byproduct, not genetic, like you inherited it, but it can be a byproduct of changing your brain's chemistry from, and this is getting out of my realm, but neural pathways and all the other kind of good stuff, you know. I'm going to get my girl Steph to talk about that with y'all one day, because it's not my realm, you know. But anyway, on to your cross watcher. But yeah, so don't judge your feelings. Something that will help you with that is mindfulness meditation, and kind of like, you know, allowing your thoughts to come up and to not judge them. You are never stupid, dumb, foolish, or silly for feeling what you feel. Always honor your feelings. It is okay for you to feel what you feel. But just like I talked about in a collective message, it's acknowledging things and then releasing it. You know what I mean? As opposed to us judging it and now, you know, having to hold ourselves accountable for feelings that are not permanent, very temporary. So the second card is for Virgo's cross watcher. 12 minutes, doing good. Cross watcher. One card for Virgo's cross watcher, please, Spirit. Whoa. Thank you, Spirit. Ooh. And it's 17. Have patience. Love is patient and kind always. Cross watcher. Is that a lotus or is it a lily? Sort of kind of looks like a magnolia, to be real with you. My New Orleans almost came out, but you see, I caught it. I swallowed it. I swallowed it like you're doing your emotions, Virgo. Yes, that was a cheap shot, but it was in love. I think that's a lily, but it's making me think about the lotus, but I don't know what about it. But anywho, when it comes to the cross watcher for Virgo, it's imperative to be understanding, right? Say hypothetically if Virgo has been through some things, right? Or say even if they just came out of a breakup, you know? Or even if it wasn't just, maybe, you know, 6 months ago, whatever. But them not necessarily being ready to move into a relationship and feeling like, okay, wait, 2 messages. This is 2 different things. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can get this out. So it's 2 different things. And I haven't pulled cards for the cross watcher yet, but somehow I'm talking to the cross watcher. Your determining factor of being patient, right? It's like, okay, perfect. If we think of butterflies and we think of moths, right? What do we know moths for? You know, like a moth to a flame, right? So a moth is irrational to the fact that they are led and drawn by their emotions or innate instincts to their own detriment and demise, right? They get close to the flame, they're daddy hot, but you still just like, you know what? I just really desperately want the light. I want the light and I want it. And I'm just going to keep getting closer, even though my little foot is burning. I don't think moths have feet, but you know what I'm saying, right? Now, if we think of a butterfly, right? So this is more or less, in the comparison with the moth, it's like patience for pain. I'm willing to wait, you know, an innumerable amount of time, you know, for something that's ultimately going to like kill me or maim me in some way, shape, form, or fashion, right? Now with our butterfly, the butterfly has patience because it's two very important stages that take time that the butterfly goes through. And it's their little, you know, caterpillar stage where they're eating. But I don't really think that they're aware of that because, you know, they're not woke yet, you know. So they're just doing stuff, autopilot. Then when the butterfly goes into their chrysalis, right? That's another patience process. That's their transfiguration process. That takes patience. But the difference between the moth and the butterfly is the sense that even though they're both very similar, one is willing to be patient for their detriment and demise. The other is patient for something that is going to benefit them in the long run. Full-on transformation, right? That's something that I feel like the cross watcher has to keep in mind. So if this is in reference to the Virgo person, when we're talking about having patience, it's needing to be aware of what you're being patient for. Are you being patient for the hope of something, right? Like the hope of, and Virgo, sorry to bring you into our mess, you know. But if Virgo is not embracing their emotions, that's also two-sided. Are they emotionally unavailable? And you're waiting for them to be emotionally available, but there's no telling like how that's going to pan out. How that becomes the flame is in the situation of if this person is showing the signs and characteristics of a person who's emotionally unavailable, and I'm hoping that by some weird twist of fate that they're all of a sudden just going to not be that. You know what I'm saying? Just like hoping that by some weird twist of fate that fire isn't going to burn you. Like that's just not going to happen because that's what fire does. It burns, you know, engulfs things of the sort, right? Or are you being patient because you know Virgo has just gone through something traumatic? And you know that given what they've just gone through, even if it's just having a baby, you know what I mean? That homegirl can't just bounce back because she didn't just push the whole human out of her body. You know what I'm saying? You know? And being patient for them to come back to themselves. Have they lost someone? That's something that falls within that energy of the butterfly, right? That's something that you have patience for. That the outcome is something that's far more beautiful and worth the wait, as opposed to waiting to be burned to death like the moth. So hopefully that makes sense. So anywho, I don't know why I feel like I need to say the number 17. We're at 17 minutes, but Spirit said to say that out loud. But anywho, we're going to do 3 cards for Virgo, as well as the cross watcher, to see what's going on with you guys and things and whatnot. I don't know why I'll always be about to forget to cut this deck. I think I just like to shuffle it because it feels good in my hands, you know. But anywho, so I hope that was helpful, and I hope that that made sense for you guys, whoever resonates with, you know, whichever. And, you know, no shade, Virgo. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing, my earth sign friend. So anywho, first card that we have for Virgo is the 5 of Chalices. Interesting. Then we have the 10 of Pentacles. And then we have the 10 of Swords. This is so interesting. Virgo, I already see where this is going, and it's very much interrelated with you embracing your emotions, okay? So, the thing that's super duper important for you now, and I do feel like, I don't necessarily feel... I don't feel that you guys are open to a relationship right now. I don't feel like it's for any type of like, you know, narky type of stuff or nothing like that. I just feel like you guys really truly want to fall in love with yourselves right now. So I feel like embracing your emotions, I feel like that's something that right now may be a bit of a challenge for you. It's something that you want to do, but it's not really knowing what steps I need to take in order to do it. It's like, you know, do I look in the mirror and say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, you know? Do you, you know, like do inner work? And then the next question becomes, what's inner work? What does that look like? Is there a step-by-step process with this inner work thing? Or do I just sit there and meditate and say I'm doing inner work and that's inner work? how do I find out how one does inner work, right? How do I find out how to embrace my emotions? How do you do that? You know what I mean? What does healing look like? You know? Because I feel like it's this, and the thing I enjoy about Virgos, because, you know, one of my 3 besties, you know, is a Virgo, you know. But I say with her, it's like her Virgo aligns with my Gemini, right? In the sense that it's that intellectualism. It's the fact that that pristine, like, you know, straight edge razor, even though she's a lot better at it than me, I'm kind of like maybe a little sloppy cut, you know. But it's that intellectual side of Virgo that I resonate with a great deal. So I feel like with you guys, it's a desire for a schematic. It's like, if you're going to do inner work, I want to know what I'm doing type of deal. Like, what are we doing? Because I really feel like there's a deep desire for you guys to truly embrace yourself. Because I feel like you feel like it's about that time. So, I mean, of course, this could be, you know, your material abundance as well. As far as like, you know, working, saving money, you know, preparing for your future, saving for retirement, you know, purchasing a home, things of the sort. But I really feel like this is a very personal work related thing. You know what I mean? And even, I mean, looking at weight and stuff like that, like looking at your body and thinking about, and not things that you want to change necessarily in a negative way, but just a desire to be more healthy. Like, so self-care, self-love in every sense, right? So I feel like you guys aren't necessarily ready or trying to be ready to be in a relationship, right? And another thing is, I feel like it's not necessarily like a commitment phobe. I'm sensing it more as like a, how do I want to say that? Like feeling poor in spirit, you know? So, I don't know if it's because of something. It's a reluctance to be vulnerable. And I feel like that reluctance to be vulnerable is more in alignment with your, and I'm going to use this word, but I'm going to tread lightly, with your insecurity. But this is a very different type of insecurity I'm feeling. This isn't like meathead insecurity. Like, I don't feel good enough, so I have to tear other people down. Like, I need to be, you know, right and you be wrong type of insecurity. Like, self-validation is insecurity in the fact that I don't feel like I have a foundation. I don't feel like I have a ground, but it's a desire to want that ground. So if there is somebody that's trying to make an offer to you guys, you do care about the person. You do have emotions for them and you do desire them a great deal. And I have to commend you on this, because you're being emotionally mature in the sense that I don't really see you leading this person on. Like, I feel like you're keeping a distance between you and them because you know there's some work that you need to do. And that's a really noble thing to do, because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people can know that they're not emotionally equipped or emotionally available. So the emotional unavailability I'm feeling from Virgo is more along the lines of that butterfly theory, right? In the sense that it's something, some sense of disappointment, or even just a realization of pain that you haven't acknowledged up until this point. But it's like you're wise enough to know and emotionally mature to know that you don't want to bring another person into that. So your focus right now is really healing. So like I said, I have to commend you on the fact that you're not, you know, bringing other people into your process, because that's very noble, very huge, and it shows a great deal your care for other people. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, Spirit said that, dog. This is funny. Your last card, let me say this before I get into that. Your last card is the 10 of Swords. So this is letting me know that this is a mindset. So like I said, with this 9 here, oh, dog. Virgo, y'all are so gangster. Your Oracle card is 18. You reduced that to 9. And I said that I didn't feel like that was going to last long. Cycle completion. Then you have the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Swords, right? Now, with the Ten of Swords, this is more or less what your actions moving forward are going to be in order for you to align with what it is that you're going, like, well, what you desire now or what you will desire going forward in reference to your love life, right? Being able to be more emotionally stable for a partnership is releasing this mindset. So again, because we're talking about releasing a mindset here, this is one of your little spiritual roaches, you know? So go watch the collective message, right? But the thing that's funny is like, when I'm like getting in the zone or whatever, meditating on you guys' energy, it's like spirit starts talking to me about, tens, right? And, binary code and how, you know, like 1 and 0 are the only real numbers, right? And that's why, like, you know, binary code is like 1 1 0 1 1 1, whatever, like the whole thing that builds up the matrix or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I said, just because you're speaking to me on that, there's no way that tens are going to show up in this reading because that would just be too easy, right? But they're here. You got 2 of them. You got a 9, you got 2 tens. Of course, that reduces to 1. And 10 is symbolic of divine masculine and feminine yin and yang, as the 0 is the is not, and the 1 is the is, which means I need to post this other video on this unconditional love. And then with this 5, that's like major radical change, right? So it's more or less like it gets worse before it gets better, which falls into my is not is paradigm, that in order for when you call something into your life, like calling healing into your life or aligning with the fact that you want to manifest healing in your life or growth or what have you, anything you want to manifest. Of course, the universe works in a process and an order. The universe likes to fill voids. So in order for what is to manifest in your life, what is not has to manifest first, right? So the 0 comes before the 1. So if you're in a space to where you're feeling vacant or void or, you know, dark, anything of the sort, right? We can go all the way back to the beginning of time and thinking that, you know, prior to, you know, the Big Bang or whatever you want to call it, it's like it was a formless void, you know, the 0, you know? So right now you're in the is not, but because you're in the is not, you're guaranteed to step into the is, because that's how the universe works. 10 goes back to 1. Feel me? So on to your cross watcher. First card that they have, oh wow, is the Ace of Pentacles. Interesting. Next they have the Knight of Pentacles. They want you to move a little faster. Let me tell you something, cross watcher, about the Knight of Pentacles, okay? Let me tell you why the Knight of Pentacles is like SoBomb.com. Yes. Oh, dude is the slowest knight in the deck. You are correct about that. But slow and steady wins the race. When the Knight of Pentacles finally shows his little slow, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to take 2 trots and a break. And then we're going to take 2 more trots and a break. Then we're going to go sightsee. I'm going to take a nap, you know. When he finally does get there, you know, he will build something or bring something to the table that will stand the test of time. This isn't someone who's going to be in or out. The reason why they're taking their time is because, just like I said with Virgo in reference to their healing, it's wanting to be strategic and methodical in their progress, right? It's like, I don't want to just wing this. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. And if there's not anything else that I know about a Virgo, if y'all gonna go to this gala, y'all gonna go to this gala right. Y'all gonna have the right shoes with the right dress, you know, or the right loafers with the right tuxedo. You know what I'm saying? It's like Virgos have to do it on point. And I respect that, you know. That's where my Gemini rising comes in for real. So the whole thing is here, Crosswatcher, you're desiring for them to move quicker, but you have to have patience. And it's important to know that Virgo is trying to do things the right way. Virgo wants to build something that's going to stand the test of time. They don't want something that's fleeting. They don't have time for that. So them recognizing for whatever reason that they needed to work on themselves, they're making that the main priority right now. you know, as opposed to bringing you into that, you know. So the thing that I can give you, and then you have 17, 7 plus 1 is 8. I love the number 8, you know. You turn it sideways, it's infinity. But it's balanced nonetheless. And I still look at that as like 2 becoming 1, which is what this 8 of Pentacles is about. And I feel like you're more or less afraid of losing that, you know. Oh, wow, this is interesting. You fear intimacy too. So you need to be patient, cross-watcher. I'm just saying. Because I feel like there's an insecurity here with you as well, because it's misinterpreting this person's slowness. Like, you have no idea what it is that's going on with them behind the scenes, because they already pushing their emotions down, so they ain't about to tell you. You know what I'm saying? They're not telling you what it is that's going on. But they're going through a transformation process, and I feel like you're fearing not getting an offer. You're feeling them not coming, because I feel like you feel a connection to them, but this is oh, wow. We have wow, okay, the Wheel of Fortune, spadoodles. Y'all are closing out a cycle, cross-watcher. So you need to be patient, you know? So I don't know what the logistics are with y'all. Because I mean, this to me feels very general, to the point where I think anybody could apply this, whether you're single or you're in a relationship or married, you know. It's just the fact that Virgo is going through their healing process. They're transforming. They're going through like I'm not even going to say a little. They're going through like a transfiguration process, a purification process. They're, you know, and their temperance energy and all of that good stuff. Attuning with their higher self to manifest that, right? Freeing themselves from bondage and negativity, things that have held them back for a very long time. So with the cross-watcher, I think it's imperative for you to have patience with them, because it's not any type of rejection. It's just that, like I said, they're being emotionally mature and keeping a distance because they don't want to bring you into that. And there's lots of people who would bring you into their mess. So in the meantime, you know, because I feel like the offer is going to come. Like seeing the Knight of Pentacles next to the Ace of Pentacles, and especially the Wheel, it's just that these are old energies that are clearing out. If you guys were to have, and this is more or less for my single people or people who may be like, you know, taking a break or whatever, if you guys attuned prior to this, it wouldn't have worked. Because this clearing that's happening with both of you needed to happen, you know? So, and cross-watcher, now I got to give you a little spank. You need to turn your energy back into yourself. Because I feel like you were doing personal work, but you got kind of off track, because when this Virgo person came into the picture, it was, and this is sounding like somebody's reading, it was this, you know, kind of like the idealization, feeling this resonance with them, so to speak, and kind of getting ahead of yourself, you know, and it threw you off track of what you were doing. But there's a need for you to turn your energy back into your own emotions, because you're also going through this transformation process. But the wheel is going to turn and a new cycle is going to start with you guys. And it's going to be an expansive cycle. For people who are in committed relationships or married, you guys, I feel like when this energy passes, like say if you guys have been trying to have a baby, I feel like you guys are definitely going to have a baby. Definitely. But this is beautiful though, because going forward, it's like stepping into that abundant Empress energy. It's like it's expansion, it's union, it's balance, you know, all those good things, divine guidance, you know, all the good energies. But this old energy needs to be purged out first, right? And I already knew before I started this reading, I don't know why, but hey, when I feel things, I just go with it. But I wanted to pick a work your light card for each of you. I don't know why that is, but hey, you know, we all need a little light in our life, you know? But yeah, man. So I feel like with this connection, man, this is a good little connection, but you know, You want this to come together right. But I just think like cross watcher may not be used to, you know, it's almost kind of being used to people who, you know, come in, I like you, I love you, and, you know, next thing you know, y'all at each other's house like you live with each other and things of the sort. And it's just a little bit of doubt of thinking that maybe this person may not be interested in you. But I really feel like they are, you know. It's just y'all both, and I'm not even going to say just them. Cross watcher, you got work to do too. I'm just saying, I love your face. Okay, that's for Virgo. And let me get one card for the cross watcher, please, Spirit. And then we're going to throw the dice of resonance. You know what I'm saying? How many minutes we at? 35? Okay, that's not too bad. It's not too bad. One card for the cross watcher, please, Spirit. Man, this color scheme on this deck is just, it speaks to my soul. Just this blue and hints of purple and pink is just giving me so much life. I first got this deck, I was like, oh my gosh. This is what my soul looks like. My soul looks like these cards. All right, that's cross watcher. All right, so for Virgo, the card that you guys have is... every time I see this card, I think about Dave Chappelle, because I can't say it. Every time I see it, I think of Lake Minnetonka, right? But it's Minnetonka, I think. Longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Oh, shucky ducky. Man, you want to go back to your truth. You are aligning with your authentic self, Virgo. You are ascending in the most major kind of way. Real talk. Okay, that's 118. In the most major kind of way. You're aligning with your higher self. Okay, so don't talk about me if I'm saying this wrong. Minnetonka are a soul group who originated on a planet in the constellation Orion. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth and believed to be the original light workers. The Minnetonka's home planet is thought to have been a water world with water so pure that you could see through it for miles. For this reason, Minnetonka's feel most at peace and at home when they are in or around crystal clear water. They are here to teach us to see the potential in everything and the light in all beings. Many Minnetonka's have an odd longing for home and struggle with feeling like they don't belong. It is thought that this is due to their home planet no longer being in existence. If you pulled this card, it could mean that you are a Minnetonka. I wish you would stop saying that word. Or are longing for a sense of belonging, and root chakra healing is necessary for you to feel secure and safe. That's that foundation. Perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where that is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place on Earth to call your own. If so, you are being called to connect with Mother Earth and create it for yourself now. To choose where you feel most at home and create it rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. And here's the transmission. So I'm going to hold up the card so you could like screenshot it on your phone because you got a little activation thing to do. So you hold the card to your heart and say, I allow myself to be truly here and at home on this planet. I release any grief around not belonging or feeling held and call in the perfect home. Wow. That's deep. Look at this. It's a desire for stability on a deep level, And root chakra work, that makes a great deal of sense. Oh my gosh. Oh, my leg fell asleep. It's hard to move it out. Okay. Oh, good Lord. Okay. Anyway. But root chakra work is extremely, usually at the root of that. With that insecurity, like how I said, it's not like that beefcake insecurity. Like that's that insecurity. It's the lack thereof of a foundation, right? But y'all are Gucci. So for the cross watcher, we have trust your path. Oh God, these cards are just so beautiful. I just can't stand it. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? What would you do, cross watcher? If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? 38. And this is a good card to meditate with, you know? So anywho, the universe is conspiring, clearly. Keep facing your true north. Your job, oh, speaking of which, take a look at your north node, okay? And your south node too, so you know past life stuff, and then, you know, look at your north. Anyway, keep facing your true north. Your job is not to pave the path, but to simply keep facing your true north and take one step after another. If you do this, you can't go wrong. The universe is conspiring. Don't waver or doubt. Use your heart as a compass and put one foot in front of the other. If you follow the invisible trail of what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. Crosswatcher, if you didn't watch the collective reading, now you need to watch that. Because that's exactly what I said. Man. Whew. This is beautiful. Most people don't follow the highest call of their soul because they are waiting to see the end destination before they take the first step. If you take one baby step each day, within a year, you will have taken 365 steps in your dedicated direction. If you want to write a book, write a page every day. If you want to change careers, do one thing every day and dedication to that. Before you know it, in just a year from now, you will turn back and look in awe at how far you have journeyed. Wow. Keep moving and open yourself up to a whole new level of support and receiving. Oh, you really got to watch this video. Whew. Things are not going to work out the way you are planning. But if you have a little faith and keep showing up, they will work out even better than you could have possibly imagined. Don't micromanage the universe. Trust your path and let your soul lead the way. Work your light inquiry. If you knew you would be supported no matter what would you do? That's beautiful. I can even tell you a question that we use in therapy to help break blockages is if you had a magic wand, right? And you could wave this magic wand and you could fix any and everything that is wrong in your life right now. Get a piece of paper and write a list of what those things would be. And you have an unlimited number. You don't even have to choose, like, you know, there's an unlimited number. What would you choose to change? And once you get that list, you have an outline of what areas of your life you can start working on to do just what the little blurb was saying. It's like, which one is the easiest to accomplish first, you know? What's the one that you can knock off the list first, that you can get done in the shortest amount of time, and then you start knocking down that list. And that keeps you motivated day to day. Because a lot of times we need something to be working towards to keep us inspired in the meantime. But if we think about the end goal too much, it's the path to getting there will seem, you know, so far-fetched, so, you know, insurmountable that, oh, I could never do that. But, man, I'm just realizing my daddy sure did have a lot of elephant references. Another elephant reference that my dad told me is, if you're going to eat an elephant, it's like you look at it and you feel discouraged because that's a whole, you know, elephant. But how do you eat an elephant? In one piece at a time, you know? Let's not go eat elephants, though, metaphorically speaking. So we're going to throw out the dice of resonance. And for those of you who are new, this is a little something I do at the end of the love readings. It is all 12 zodiac signs, 2 clarifying die of the roles that a person plays in your life, whether the signs could be sun, moon, or rising. And you have the opportunity to ask a yes or no question. If you want to think of a question, pause me, think of that question, you know. And you can get yeses and nos or time-sensitive answers. And in the event that a time-sensitive answer comes out, you would take that as a yes and the time in which that would happen. So I don't interpret them. I just toss them out. And however they resonate, they resonate. Dagnabbit, son of a gun. So let's see what we got for Virgos. We have Cancer, Sagittarius, rising sign. We have yes in a few weeks and crush. So Cancer, Sagittarius, and Cancer and Sagittarius could be in their rising. The answer to your question is yes in a few weeks, and the role this person could play is your crush. How appropriate. That's totally not sarcasm. But I love your face, Virgo. I enjoyed your reading. It made me feel very, I don't know what the word for it is. I feel like, I'm just going to say, hit my head. I feel like cotton candy, you know? I feel light and fluffy and sweet and things of the sort. So, you guys got it. You guys are in a great place. Crosswatcher, you guys are in a great place. Just make sure that you make yourself a priority. And if you guys have the opportunity, check out that video. It is Alchemy Activations, Revolution, and Roaches. Because that's what's hot in the streets right now. But I love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner than later. Deuces.